Hi everyone, thanks for following the link. I've made this online tutorial to help parish councillors and members of the public know how to use Zoom, which we're using for a short while to help parish councillors make decisions while we can't meet in person. I'm going to show you in this video how Zoom works and then how you download it onto your computer. It should be about 5 or 6 minutes, this video. So I'm just going to start with telling you how Zoom works. It works by me setting up a meeting on my laptop, which is an online space. And you will be able to join the meeting by downloading the software on your computer. If you've got a camera in the top of your laptop and integrated microphone, that's a good way to join the meeting. You might also have a desktop computer that's got a webcam and microphone attached to it. But if you don't have that, or you don't have good enough broadband to be able to manage an online meeting, because you need reasonably good quality broadband, then you can either join using your smartphone, if you've got a good enough contract on your smartphone to make that work, but also you can join by telephone. So I'm going to show you how to join a Zoom meeting. So when I set up a meeting, I'll be given information about how you join, which I'll send to you in an email like this one. And here you can see that there's a link to click through to access the meeting. And there's a meeting ID here. And then you're given some telephone numbers to phone in if you're going to be using your home phone. I don't know whether these numbers generate differently for each call, so don't use this as an example, but use the numbers that are given to you in the email. When you phone that number, you'll be prompted to put in the meeting ID, which is here, and then you'll be told that you're being put on hold until the meeting host, that's me, lets you into the meeting, at which point you'll be able to hear everybody in the meeting and everyone be able to hear you. So that's the way that you use the telephone function. If you have got the laptop or a computer with a webcam, then you click through to this link. And if you haven't already got Zoom downloaded on your computer, it will prompt you to download or run Zoom. So you see here that it's automatically downloaded. If you have already got Zoom downloaded, that will take you to a different screen in the middle, which will ask you whether you allow Zoom to open today. And you click on that. And this is on a PC. If you've got a Mac, then your download will be up here in the top corner. So you should know how to double click onto a program to make it run. So if you've got a Mac, that'll be in your downloads. But here in a PC, it's just down at the bottom of your browser window, and it says that your meeting will begin soon. So you just have to wait for it to load. And it says that it's connecting. Now here you can see that you can see me there. But here in the middle, it's asking you to join with your computer audio or test your speaker and microphone. It's always a good idea to test that before you start the meeting. It says, do you hear the ringtone? And I can hear it, so I'm going to click yes. And then it's going to ask me to speak and pause. Yes, and then it's going to ask me to speak and pause. And I did hear a replay, so I can click yes. And then I'm going to join with computer audio. Sometimes what will happen in these meetings is that there'll be a waiting room before it starts. So if I'm not there before you, you might go into a waiting room until I'm at the meeting, and then I will join you into the meeting. So I'm going to join the meeting with computer audio. I'm going to mute that. So I'm in the meeting, and then so is the other Cat Radford there. Now, the way I like to use Zoom is that you've either got this view where you've got one camera in front of you here, and then everybody else's cameras at the top, or you can go into gallery view where you've got the different pictures of everybody. And obviously if there were 12 councillors, there would be 12 images, and also with Zoom we can make the meetings available to the public so they can view the meeting, and all of their pictures would be on this screen. So I'll just take you through the bottom bars. I've muted because I've got this program open in two computers, and if they've both got the sound on, then it creates feedback. But in a Zoom meeting you would usually mute your microphone so that it doesn't cause those kinds of disturbances, and that you can listen to what everyone's got to say. And if you want to say something in the meeting, you put up your hand and the chair will indicate that it's your turn to speak, and you can unmute your microphone, just like you would in a normal meeting. So taking you through the bottom bits, so you can mute or unmute your microphone here by clicking on it. If you don't want to be seen, you can turn your video on and off. These buttons I will use, so that's for me to invite people to the meeting and to manage the participants. I will be able to switch your microphones on and off. Here's a share screen, which is a useful function so that I can put meeting papers up while we're having a conversation. Here's a chat function which we might use. If you click on that, there's a Zoom group chat here, and you can type in information. So if I was saying that there was going to be a vote, you might say vote support planning application and hit enter, and that would mean that we would have a record of what everyone's votes are, which I can then print off and store as a file, which is very useful during this period where we need to think about the ways that decisions of the parish council are recorded. There's a record button here if we wanted to record the meeting, and then there's just some emojis here to help you react to things. So that's how you access Zoom. This is what it looks like, so it's fairly simple. And I hope that that was a quick run through of how it works. Just run you through the bottoms again. That's mute or unmute, stop your video, switch your video on, and the chat functions are the ones that we'll most likely use. And then at the end of the meeting, you click on here to leave the meeting. So that's what I'll do now, and hope to see you on Zoom in the next couple of weeks.